sorry we're late. Technical difficulties again.
Our apologies.
Yeah, man. So I think you're stuck with the nickname campsite, dude.
I guess so.
Dude, there are way worse fucking nicknames.
Yeah, okay. I'm cool with it.
Because I had changed your name to DangerCast 5 episodes with Matt Todd.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was talking with Mac and I think Oki and a couple other people, and they were calling you Campsite too. And I was like, well, it's already stuck, dude. Yeah. It was your fault anyway.
How was your week?
Wasn't your first Instagram handle Campsite or some shit?
Yeah. It was for my property. I had intentions of making it a place where people could come and camp like on private ground. So you're going to like a really dope spot, but you're not around other people that you don't know. If anybody else would be there, you would either know that they're there at least and who they are, or they're with you. And so I was just going to call it Campsite because a friend of mine had made a really dope little logo for it. And I was like, man, that's rad. So when I got on Facebook pretty much just to promote that, but that's kind of when I started getting into knife throwing because of COVID and I just couldn't go to jiu-jitsu, didn't want to shoot much, got expensive. So I started getting in the knife throwing groups, and I think people thought that was my nickname to begin with because a lot of people have nicknames. I've never had a nickname in 46 years, so I guess now I have one.
Got one. Now you got one. But you did do knife throwing on that page, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's when I was first getting into like sharing content. I was finally at the point to where I kind of wanted to. I finally caught something, so I was like, maybe I'll make videos now or whatever. So that's kind of how that started. But
I actually got super lucky with my nickname Danger. That didn't come from my knife throwing friends. It came from my old BMX friends because I was a massive idiot when I was drunk.
Nice.
And so I kind of just transferred it over. Like when I first got on Facebook, one of my favorite throwers was the president of IKTHOF at the time, Mike Baton. He had Mike Alamo Baton on his Facebook page, or whatever. And so I was like, oh, Brandon Danger Dylan, and I just ran with it. And like I've been called it so long now, I've actually seriously thought about changing my middle name to Danger, which I think would be kind of cool. But I'm not so sure how my family would think about that because I was named after my grandpa's twin brother.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But so yeah, just be thankful and lucky that it's Campsite. One of my best friends, and I'm actually really reluctant to tell you this right now. My best friend was trying to catch on to call me Butterscotch. I'm glad I didn't catch on.
Yeah, I don't know if you would have the viewership or the demographic of viewership that you have if your name was Butterscotch.
But also people are like, oh, what's the most dangerous? I did that interview with Odysseus, Mark Nobody, and he's like, what's the most dangerous thing you've done with knife throwing? I'm like, well, nothing crazy. And actually, since that interview, I actually thought of a couple things. One night, I used to drink a lot more than I do now, actually. And I was out there throwing like I always do. And I always, whenever I was practicing roto, I would always have a stack of knives in this hand and I would throw with this hand. Well, if you get too loose, you start to flop around a little bit. And I came down and I followed through right on top of the other knives. And I stabbed myself right in the meat of the palm right there. And it was like I was thankful that they weren't sharp, but they weren't, it was like a blunt hole. It made it hurt, man. That really hurt. And anyway, so
learning speed knives with the 5KC Buffalo Bills, right? Like, dude, I mean, the anxiety and the thought that, I can probably get pretty fast. And you just come back and stab yourself because they're half spin, right? So you're just like collecting points inside of every finger.
Yeah. It takes a lot of muscle memory to get used to coming back to that same point. And I'm glad you just brought that up because, congratulations back to Max Stoughton, dude, for setting the world record again.
Yeah, 34 this time. It's crazy.
34, which is insane because those of you who don't know that are watching, it's how many knives can you throw into a target and stick them in 20 seconds. So he stuck 34 in 20 seconds.
2 meters? Is that what it is?
It's okay, 2 meters. I'm glad you
And
brought
it's
that
half
up.
spin.
Well, you know, man, I really try not to talk shit about people, man. And someone really prominent really shit on fucking Max Parade and said, well, you know, they do that at 3 meters in Europe. Dude.
Well, that ruined mine because I just wrote, whatever. Because, like, it's Mac and, like, whatever. But, like, it's out of the goodness of my heart.
Look,
that ruined my shit. It's
3
insane.
meters is not that big of a deal anyway. For someone as good as Mac, that's no big deal. It wouldn't matter too much.
The release time is the same. Like, him getting rid of the knives is the same. Their amount of time in transition is different. But the only thing that matters, the only thing that would matter is the very last knife that sticks. That's the only, because all the rest of them are inside the time frame. It's a closed off. It's a closed off. Stupid argument.
And
whoever said that, nah.
I'm not much of a speed knife thrower. It's not something that I really practice or have been into over the years, but I believe it's after your first stick is when the timer starts. Because it's just like fast draw. It activates as soon as the knife hits.
Yep. So the first one's going to hit whether it was a mile away when it goes bang. So everything that's inside of the time frame till the last knife, they all leave his hand at the same distance at 1 meter, 1 mile. He's getting rid of the knife. The last knife, I mean, that's the only one that matters because all of these are before it. So they're inside the time frame that this closes off. Yeah. So it's just the difference between one knife being thrown 1 extra meter. That's all that is.
And I can give you like a couple other examples. For instance, my fastest overhand is just under 0.7 seconds from 3 meters. But I've practiced when I had the timers here of Humphrey's timers. I can still get a nice fast draw to the target under a second. So we're talking about, you know, tenths of a second difference anyway. So I think it would be very negligible. And you know what? I had a really, really good conversation with Mac last night. He called me and we had an excellent conversation.
He's good on the phone, dude. He has something for you apparently at DangerFest, like a conversational topic. And I was like, hey, I want to do a live with you on it. He's like, well, I'm saving it. And I was like, okay, well, he has way more viewership. But yeah,
I really hope that I have enough time to actually sit down and do some stuff like this as a group.
Well, make time. Delegate this year and make some time, and then you can do that.
I'm trying so hard, dude.
I'm going to be there early to help. So yeah, you'll have at least me and whoever else is showing up. Yeah, and I'm sure people are showing up.
And that's amazing. And that's man, I have so many thoughts going through my head right now. Like that's amazing because that's how DangerFest has been so successful, is because I have all of these people that show up and are willing to help me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to delegate. I am doing so much stuff behind the scenes that you guys have no idea. I'm networking crazy. I'm inviting famous people. And I got an email back today from a very famous person that is in town that day.
Nice, man.
I don't want to ruin the surprise or anything, but
don't.
And I found another professional knife thrower that does stage acts, and he's in Ohio, and he has a gig that weekend. He has time off on Friday, and he's really interested in coming. So, dude, you know, I've never really advertised DangerFest in the past because I didn't want it to get big. It's too much. But this year, 10-year anniversary, quite possibly last year, I'm going to do it just because it's too much headache for me. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to go all out. I want to make it as big and badass as possible. So I've been, you know, and I'm not done. I'm not done networking and still trying to get people. You know, I would like for, I don't know. I have a list that I wrote down of people that have never come that I'm going to make a video soon and ask them, like, hey, I would really, because it's always been an open invitation. Or you don't need an invitation. Anybody's welcome, but I think it's better
Then tell Jake what the dates are. Then again, we got Jake down here wants to know what the dates for DangerCast.
Okay, the dates are. It's always the third weekend. Well, doesn't matter. It's September 20th through the 22nd, and this is the 10-year anniversary. All of the details are on Facebook. You search DangerFest 2024. All the details are there. You can pay. You can find out all the events that are going to be going on. And if you don't have Facebook, and you absolutely have to, email me at fulltangclan@gmail.com, and I will try to send you all the info there. But all are welcome. All are welcome. Even if you haven't thrown a knife and you're just interested in come to try, come do it. So I'm nervous already. I'm already kind of overwhelmed with some things, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. It's gonna, we just dropped $1,800 on porta potties today, but
you should go and shit in every one of them before DangerFest.
No, dude. I hate those things. I try to avoid them as much as possible. I'll be honest, dude. I got the key to the bait shop. I go down there in the morning, dude. I'm a shy pooper. But man, what's been going on with you? I haven't seen any videos out of you, buddy.
Man, it has rained for 2 weeks, and now we're playing catch up from the rain, and now I'm just digging grass as fast as we can do stuff. Really? I'm about to take my wall down, and I'm going to put up my my cleats that I got from Aaron.
Dude.
So I ordered 2 sets, and he sent me 2 extra bases out of the goodness of his heart. Got like a swag bag of all of his like weights for the cans. So I'm pumped on these. I got to cut some rounds. I have, 300 feet of 27-inch pine. I just have to cut it myself. But it's already down, so I just have to cut it. And then make another wall. So,
hey, can you give him a shout out real quick? Can you tell people where to find that stuff?
Yeah, man. Let's see if everything is on here, because he actually put the
also, please explain to people that don't know what that is.
Yeah, dude. So, and I haven't got to play with it a whole lot, but so Aaron at M3, which is, what is it? Modern Materials and Methods or something like that?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, Aaron. Like I suck at that stuff. I do the M3 thing, and I just gotta really like the product, right? So it comes with what's called a mount, and they have it embossed in there, so it's easy to find, and a base. So you'll get a mount and a base, and so you will put the base to the to what you're gonna mount to, and this mount hooks up, and it just makes a what's called like a French cleat. Yep. And they just kind of come together. My lighting sucks, and here's how I get that taper. So you have a taper like that.
Yeah, so it's for mounting targets to a wall, and it makes them really easy to move, remove, change them out.
Dude. I mean, you literally just pick this up. If you have another base or mount, just you slap it right on. And I haven't put them together, but I'm pretty sure that the weight and it having a backer behind it just keeps it in place, which is, just awesome. This is a 3D printed, like really like durable, really rigid piece of probably PTU, PPU, whatever they call that. But it's just, obviously a synthetic material. It's really lightweight. They're insanely cost effective. I think they were like $30 for like the set to get you a set going, and that's ridiculous. So, but yeah, hit up Aaron, one of the sweetest guys in throwing. Like super genuinely nice dude. But yeah, bases, mounts, it has everything. Oh, here we go. Modern Methods and Materials. Yeah, it's written.
Okay.
It's also inside. So sorry, but
sorry,
Aaron. I just butchered a commercial for you with probably people actually watching. 35 people are like, "Who in the fuck is this guy?" Sorry, but can't wait to put these up and see what's going on. I'll do like a round, and the cool thing is I was telling him, I was like, this would even be cool for like a version of this for other types of applications. But you don't have to put even a target round. You can hook this on the back of a board, a door, a mannequin, if you could figure out how to bolt that in or whatever. And
you probably have artwork with it.
Yeah, the heart. Yeah, it's Well, I mean, the only thing that you need is like however long of a screw that you want to use, and he left enough width inside of there, and it's even countersunk, which is you didn't have to do that. Like
Nice.
it's countersunk, so you don't have to have the head showing. I mean, just really nice. Like I mean, skeletonized and got rid of some weight in
Yeah.
material, which this would be waste too, right? I mean, you didn't have to just
Right.
waste that material, but I think this is what I like about throwing right now is you have people that are into throwing, into competing, and actually want to improve throwing. Like I mean, he's taking I'm sure there's a profit margin here, but there's a lot of time in this. There's a lot of design and like thought and stuff, and this is for you
Yeah.
guys to have a better time at the house, right? So
Yeah,
that's exactly what this is for you to have your range the way you want it, and like nice and clean, not a bunch of
Yeah.
screws that get stripped out and they hang out this long, and you snag your shirt or your forehead, like getting a
Yeah.
knife out. If you've built 100 ranges like a lot of us have in your backyard because you tear them up, like you have scars to prove that you own it. But yeah, grab you some of these, man. These are sick. I can't wait. I'll definitely do a video when I get these up. I may just do even a time lapse of how easy it is because this will literally be six screws, and just set it on top of each other as you need it. Which also, if you don't like to have the look of having stuff like targets in your backyard and you have like a nice clean wall, you can take it off and put it in the shed
Yeah.
and then hang it back up. And your neighbors, if you're in an HOA or something, like you can't have that shit in an HOA, I'm sure.
I think it'd also be great for. I see a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, I would love to do knife throwing, but I actually live in an apartment complex, and I can't have a target system up. You can hang one of those on a fence or a tree or whatever.
You can get a plywood to hang over your door, like just like a hook mount, and put like a backer over an interior door, and just don't screw up. But
yeah, it's awesome. Let me address a couple things in the chat here.
Yeah.
Throw Cestive, invite Animal Chin. I'm not sure what you mean by that, dude.
That was a great video, Animal Chin. I think it was at Powell Peralta in the 80s.
Oh.
Old
skateboard. Well, he's a thrower, so I'm not really sure what he's pertaining to here. Yeah, Backyard Thrower says, unfortunately, Danger is the Pied Piper of us knife rats. Well,
a rifle tripod.
I'm not sure how I got that. Butterscotch, dispenser in each porta potty. That's funny. It's funny that you mentioned the porta potties because to offset the cost of the porta potties, because we got 15 of them, it turned out to $1,800. You do the math. We're trying to have sponsors, knife sponsors, or whoever has a company. They're paying to wrap or put stickers on each porta potty. And
get a laxative sponsor. That would be so ironic and hilarious.
So Odysseus of Nobody Knife Works, he took charge and he asked to take care of that for me. So thank you so much, Odysseus. That means a lot to me. Delegating is something that I've been trying to do over the years, which it's not so easy because I have like I don't know. I like DangerFest is like my baby, so I'm really particular about things, but it's awesome.
I love that Jake said shit's dope right after porta potty. That's just funny.
Trump 2024. All right, man. Let's fucking get it going in the chat.
Rifle tripod? No, it would be a bipod, not a tripod. Rifles don't use tripods unless they're very giant, and usually it's a monopod in the back and a bipod in the front. But
yeah,
awesome.
Damn. Did you see anything? Have you been on social media lately? Like,
I get on. I usually get on at least twice a day and kind of check the morning and the evening because it's a different algorithm with all the European people, right? Like if I want to see Jews or any of those guys like get stuff up like super early, or it's just different. Marcus, same thing. Just
so you're talking about oh dude,
the Knife Mare.
The Knife Mare. Okay, so
yeah, TJ.
No, because it goes by Knife Mare on Instagram. Then you go to it says TJ, and then you go to Facebook and it says Jews, JOOS.
Yeah.
So I need to message him and be like, dude, what am I supposed to call you, dude?
What is your nickname? Oh man. Well, at least Dottom didn't stick. And when people were like calling me that, like that's my name backwards. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
You weren't the only one that was doing that too. Lester Floor.
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
I do. Man, what an amazing dude. He's a thrower like he throws knives, dude. He don't want to hang out with none of us. Like he is so
No,
legit. He's like, dude, I got shit to do,
I have
man.
a feeling. I have a feeling that he's better than all of us for sure. Not just as a thrower, but as a person too.
I think he has a life much different than a lot of us. If I were to guess.
Do you remember his range inside his living room?
I think it was downstairs, but yes,
Or
I mean, it's
whatever.
absolutely beautiful. Like the
Dude,
the,
it
the
was
pallet
incredible.
wood that was stained and beautiful, the knife rack that was amazing.
I don't see
his
anybody
left and
talk
right
about
hand
him.
being the exact same hand.
Yeah, I don't see anybody talk about him much, or maybe he kind of went through the cracks because he had joined the Instinctive Knife Throwers group on Facebook for a little while, and I think it was someone like that one guy that maybe said something to him, and he left. And then now I went back to his Instagram and his YouTube page not long ago, and he hasn't posted anything in about a year, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it's Lester Floor on YouTube, and it's backwards on Instagram, and he's one of the best throwers I've ever seen, ever.
I mean,
like
flattest trajectory, bullet spin,
ambidextrous,
stiff wrist. Yeah, both hands. I made the mistake. Maybe one of the first few videos that I saw, he had like a piece of kit in there that was more conducive to like the firearm sides of things, and I noticed it, and I'm pretty sure that I hit him up in a DM and didn't like say it. Usually I'll DM somebody if it's like something that I want them to know and not I want the whole fucking world to know that I saw that. And he was kind of like, yeah, a whole different time or something like that. It was something to the effect of like, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, great. I'm that guy that was like, I noticed. And it's like, dude.
But yeah, he was one of the first people that I saw with a legit leg rig. You know, there was that one guy that had him for a while, but he kind of had him wrong. And Lester Floor, actually, that's what inspired me to make my prototype that I had Kookaroo Art do. And yeah, I wish I never saw a close up of Lester Floor's, but
and his throwing style is so perfect for a leg rig too, because it was that stiff wrist, blocked elbow to the body,
right
just torso and torque. Man, like, and it was such a predictable. I mean, you saw that redwood that he threw into was, I don't know, 3 feet in diameter, and it was 20 inches deep of just being annihilated for years, probably. I mean,
and his outdoor range was amazing as well. And then he had that little like overhang, and then he had
with the lights.
Dude, and then he had a little rabbit that would come and hang out. Do you remember that shit?
That's why I know that's why he's not hanging out with us. He has other stuff to do.
Well, so I'm not trying to talk shit, but I kind of put him and Peter, I Like Knives, in kind of the same group. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I think they have a similar, which I don't know anything about Lester, but I know a little bit about Peter, but they have the similar mindset about exercise and clean living.
Their refrigerator contents are the exact same.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. They go down the exact same aisles in the grocery store. Yeah.
yeah. All tactical about their everyday living. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, and
Oh yeah, yeah. Move their toothpaste if you use their restroom and see what happens. Like,
who's been in here? Yeah.
Well, that's two amazing throwers. Two very amazing throwers.
Yep. That's why Ace and Peter get along so well, because Ace is a very disciplined guy as well. Which is wild that Ace and I are as good of friends as we are, because I'm almost the exact opposite of all that, except for the love for throwing. So
I've never seen somebody that had such an arch nemesis with the seatbelt as Peter. Like, anytime I watch any of his videos, it's like, listen, you loser pieces of shit. You all need to be disciplined. Hold on. Seatbelt. I'm just like, bro, you can't tell me to be disciplined. You have a seatbelt on, and you're talking to a camera like you're fired.
He's too tough for a seatbelt. He doesn't need that shit.
Yeah. He's like the Chuck Norris of knife throwing. He's like, no. He's rad. Very cool, dude. And I do like his content, because he is on that like adult. I do like seeing, because I'm in my late 40s now, I do like seeing people that are older in good shape. And it's not like I get mad seeing people that aren't in good shape, but it is like, it's just refreshing to go, hey man, you still give a shit? Rad. Because usually it's hobby based. or you're super vain. And if you are, as long as you're healthy, I don't guess I really care. But like
Right.
most people that are in any kind of shape when they get this age, like they're playing soccer or basketball or they get BMX. I mean, they're doing mountain biking around here and running is huge. So it's cool to see like 50s, 60s, 70s like out doing stuff. Man, that's so cool. So yeah, I mean, anybody that's trying to promote that or even like I think shaming does work, and I think he does a kind of a good tactical job of that. Like he's not like totally shitting on you, but he's gonna let you know that he sees you, that you see that you're not doing so hot, bro. Like, I can respect that. I mean, you ain't got to watch his shit either, right? That's the cool thing is like you just go and turn that shit off. But
I'm glad you kind of brought that up, and this is something I haven't really shared, but I think it was last summer. Peter had made a post, and I thought it was like directed directly at me, and I was like, "Damn, man!" But he was just talking about a lot of the knife throwers. We like to have fun, we like to drink and smoke, and have a good time while we're together. And he's the exact opposite. And I don't know. I was like, that's. I admire it. I wish I was more like him. I really do. I wish I had more of that mindset. But man, it's. I admire it. I really do, actually.
Oh yeah, I totally dig it. It's kind of like seeing like a fully restored pick your awesome car or truck. It's like, man, that is awesome. Would you like to own it? Like, no, I don't wash cars. I change my oil maybe. Like, dude, like I get in where I fit in, bro. Like, I'll go hit the skate park a little bit. I got that trials bike I'll putt around on some. Work on the farm. Try not to eat bread all the time. Cheerleader beers instead of beers, and yeah, dude, fuck it. I'll take this dad bod. Like, good, man.
And tomorrow I could die, man. I just want to have
that's 1,000. That's where
I'm serious. I just want to have as much fun as I fucking can while I'm still here, and I'm having a great time. Since we moved out here, I'm having a great time, dude.
You should be. That place is amazing.
It's awesome, man. My brother lives right down the road. He's got a bunch of friends that live right down.
Your folks live right down the road,
dude. It's so great, man. It's I never thought I would have this much fun in life. I used to be such a cynical fucking asshole when I was younger. I fucking hated everything. This sucks, and as I get older, I'm just glad I haven't killed myself, so I can fucking finally enjoy life.
Man, just think with that long hair you used to have, if Game of Thrones came out earlier, you could have been like a Targaryen and been. You never even had to throw a knife in your life. You could just be sitting back, just stacking checks with your hair. You'd have a dragon.
Holy shit!
Pretty cool.
All right, let's talk about knife throwing again.
I guess. Let's see what some people are saying. I got Lester is a beast. Yeah, Lester
clowning on it now. Yeah, Lester is a beast. Yes, he is.
Oh, this live is never really about a lot. We try to make it about throwing and you guys, but sometimes we get on tangents, so I apologize.
Oh, Baron Splash. So Jake Voth. Does Baron Splash have YouTube? And if he does, please drop that in the comment.
I don't know it. I think it's his name actually.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. It is not. It is a long ass like his real name or something, and it's like multi-syllabic.
Well, I would like to know it. Please drop that in the comments.
I'm subscribed to it. I'll send it to you if nobody else does.
Please. But he's another very underrated thrower that is incredible. He's very, very original, like extremely original. And while I'm on that, I just remembered we got to talk about the new guy that I interviewed last week a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Hold on real quick. But who's this? I made a toilet paper statue of Lester Floor and shit wouldn't stick to it. I mean, I think that's funny. You are well on your way to making some funny one-liners. I mean, yeah, you're close. James, what's up, buddy? He's going to be here. I'm hanging out with him in the next few days for sure. He's going to be. He was like, "How close do you live to Elkmont?" And I was like, "I went to high school there, bro. Like, my property is like 15 minutes from there." So, what I really want to do, and since he's on here, I'm going to say it. I want to do an interview with him, and I'd like to get the whole family in an interview, just because, like, they're all catching shit, dude. Like, I've never seen a whole family of people doing knife throwing like they're doing. Like, that stuff is so next level awesome content,
Oh,
awesome,
yeah.
catching rings and shit. Like his wife's catching them, his 6-year-old's catching them. I mean,
well, the next time James and his family comes over, I'm gonna sit down and do one of these with him because he lives an hour and a half away, dude.
well, he's gonna be here this week, and I'm gonna do it first.
So yeah, dude. Next time you come over, I got a log round for you, or 2 or 3 or whatever you need, and we'll sit down and do a little podcast with you, man. But okay, so yes, DJ, the dude I interviewed last week.
Yes,
I was fucked up or whatever. It didn't go well. I'm going to reschedule one with him. He's an interesting dude, you know, and you know, he wears a mask and he dresses up in fucking armor and shit. And who cares?
He's got to get a mic.
Look, dude, I know, like, there's weird. Knife throwing is fucking weird. There's some weird motherfuckers that I've met through knife throwing.
There have been 23 dart knife throwing videos, not his, on social media in the last since you did that interview. Yeah. Like, everybody's out there like, ha ha,
yeah,
like dart throwing now.
He's inspired. Look, I don't care what your shtick is.
Yeah,
we're all involved through knife throwing. So that's all I care about. The only way that it goes sideways is if you're a fucking asshole or, you know, whatever. So I'm going to do another full interview with him, and I had thought that I had never seen that before. Then I realized one of my best friends did that throw in my backyard, and I have video of it on my YouTube channel that I'm going to share. Back in the day, in my old place, Outlaw, Justin Outlaw Cooper, but he did it a little bit different way. But he did it with a griffin, and he spiraled it out of his hand, similar to a football.
I tried it with the Savage thrower, which is similar, and I tried it with the Zatoon, the dagger. I can't do it for sure. Like it is
impressive.
1,000%,
dude. It's pretty fucking cool.
It is caught. That's what I'm saying. Like there are, I think, like right at 24 video. I mean, it's caught on like that, dude. So people were like, "I'm trying that," and I mean. Most of the knives are kind of that symmetry that his knife is, which I'm sure that everything about the ergonomics of the knife is going to be whether it's as consistent as he is or not. And that knife, I mean, he was throwing fucking posts or some shit on a bridge, you know, in a video. It was like whack whack, like every single one of them. And I was like, dude, the consequences, I have to go down there and get that shit. And we all know what that, you know, those tricks hit way harder for me. Like Huminga, we used to throw those like 1,000,000-mile nose spins at that little round that's like next to a cliff or something. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was one of the most impressive videos I've ever seen. Ever. He is incredible. He might be incredible. He might be the best knife thrower of all time. We don't really know yet.
He's amazing.
From that video that I saw, that was fucking amazing, dude. Yeah, he was throwing literally at sticks this big over a cliff. Had he missed that, the knife was gone.
Yeah,
there was no retrieving it.
But yeah, you're gonna have to do another video with him because like that style. I mean, and I'm sure it is like a lot of that is that image. Like a lot of people are into, you know, that kind of steez, which is cool, man. But the accuracy is, I mean, that shit don't.
Shoot, he's got some power in it too. I mean, usually,
that's what I noticed because like when I threw it, it was embarrassing. Like I'm so glad nobody was there. You know, like I mean, I went to the phone and was like, I hit the trash can button so hard. I was like, get out of my phone, like stupid looking, you dumb.
Get out of my cloud.
Yeah, I mean, like I tried all these different, like using this as like some torque, you know, like I think he has like you know, I think he's doing like a thumb on the side or something maybe.
He has an indent, like a trigger for his fingertip, and it looks like really refined that. Like he said, he's been throwing like 13 years, which is crazy, which is longer than almost all of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Like pretty much all of us. I've been throwing for 11, almost 12 years now. So it's cool, and I'm interested.
It's fresh for knife throwing, that's for sure, man. Because like the reverse no spin, I think everybody was just kind of like, fuck that, dude. That's all.
It's too hard.
You know, like, is there something else we can try?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's been a long time since we've seen something new like that, and it's refreshing. And you know, I kind of understand his whole philosophy about not showing his face. because knife throwing is not, he lives in Canada and there's knife laws in Canada. I totally understand that. And to be honest, he's the third person that I've interviewed that wears masks or doesn't show their face. Ace didn't show his face when I first started talking to him. Odysseus didn't show his face until that interview I did with them. And DJ was talking about come to DangerFest. Fingers crossed, that'd be fucking rad. And if he doesn't want his face to be shown, we will honor that and not show his face on camera. Like there was one guy that was on several years ago. He was on probation and he was not supposed to go to a knife throw. So we all had an announcement. We said, hey, this guy's not here. Do not put him in the fucking video or pictures and everything be cool. So it went well.
Very nice. Very nice. No, Chef asked me if there was a problem with how you throw a knife. And no, there's definitely not.
No.
Yeah. I make silly gestures, period. However, like you're not going to see me shitting on a knife thrower, period. Dot. So, no. But at any rate, just so we know that.
If it sticks, keep doing that. There's don't let anybody tell you you're doing it wrong. If you're having
I throw a sloppy half spin almost exclusively. Trust me, yeah, it's not a thing.
Nice. It's nice.
James, dude, I can't wait to see you guys. I'm so pumped. I'm gonna be busy, but I'm gonna make time for sure, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, DangerFest is coming up, man. It's coming up quick. I am getting busy. The one thing that I am stressed out bad about is targets again. I haven't talked to my guy. He's busy, and I didn't get my targets until like 3 days before DangerFest last year. So, I didn't get the targets. I got logs. Then I had to cut them. So, and I cannot relax until he drops off the logs. Then I can kind of chill. So
up until porta potty. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm pumped about that. Throwing is hard, but how about catching? If you're talking about knife catching, I don't know. I don't know if it's hard. I think it's just a whole other thing to do. I don't think anything in knife throwing necessarily is like, we're not picking up like 300-pound objects or anything. We're just, it's kind of this thing. But I think with the catching, I think a lot of people don't want to practice the pitch. I think people should practice just tossing whatever it is that they're trying to throw at a knife in the target already and just get used to what that feels like, where that's going, and visually watch that. Because if you're getting new at it, I think it would be a lot easier to start watching the addition of knife throwing, which is the catching component, watching it by itself in the air, watch it leave your hand, watch it travel in space, watch it go where it goes. If you're already throwing, and I mean, obviously you're already throwing a knife before you're trying to do, catch anything or pin something with a knife. So that's my 2 cents. I haven't been doing it forever or anything by any means, but I do find it advantageous of getting a knife thrown into the target that's like your natural aiming area where you hit pretty consistently, and then just throwing an object to it, whether it be a can or a ring, and it doesn't have to land on it. Just see what it takes to get it to there. If you're obviously already repeating this mechanic pretty well, this is the addition. Work on that singularly, and then put it together on your own time. I'd be probably.
May I give my 2 cents on this?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so tossing the can is just as important as throwing the knife. Now, a lot of people see the trick shot. They jump in immediately to the trick shots. That's fine. But I feel myself that fundamentals are more important. A stick is a stick, and pinning a can is pinning a can. You call it a catch. I don't call it a catch. That bothers me. But
yep. I've known for 2 years now.
But let's talk about that real quick. So the person that came up with this was Jason Johnson. I had called tonight. I was like, I want to do this on video one night, to put it to rest. He calls it he calls it the can trick. That's what he's always called it. He's been doing it for a very long time. That's where we all stole it from. So that's the definition. But all I'm talking about is the actual act of doing it, catching it. That's up to interpretation. Yep. I think it makes more sense in time to pin it, what I mean. But anyway, so but doing the trick shots, it's all knife throwing. All knife throwing is helping you in the long run. And a lot of the more hardcore guys, the instinctive guys, they look down on the trick shots, and that bothers me a little bit. They're missing. they're missing out because there's a lot of training that is involved, and you're not even thinking about your throwing, because a lot of times you're so focused on where the can is going and sticking that can that your throw happens without you even thinking about it. And there's something amazing there. And a lot of times when I do it, my knife sticks are good. I'm not talking about like this or this, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like boom. They're straight in, and it's just such a good feeling when that happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at that. And I guess maybe what like a purist instinctive thrower may not. I mean, like what I think of, if I were to think of like an instinctive thrower, I'd immediately think Judah, just because his no spin is going to be the game if you've got it, and he has that on lock. So,
Yeah.
but like I'm really maybe they don't like the addition of so much probability, or like nobody is doing 20 cans in a row. You know what I mean? Like, so but there's lots of instinctive throwers that can hit 20 instinctive targets. And so maybe they're kind of thinking like, yeah, but it took you 14 times, and it's kind of like, well, so does like, a switch tray flip for a 15-year-old nowadays. But I mean, whatever. It's just kind of like, is it still a trick? And I don't like calling them tricks so much as just exercises. And I think that's why I don't get super pumped about when I do one, because I've done 40 of them in addition to one or two that got caught. Like I'm still trying to make this half spin that I have as consistent as possible. And that's my drill. Like that's my exercise for X amount of time. So, but like the hard ones, like that swinging target, like, yeah, I mean, that was 3 sessions, and that day was like 9 minutes. But I still think that's pretty instinctive, because that's a lot of calculation, right? Of something like of traveling, everything's moving. I'm kind of surprised that they don't care for it. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of them that do. Because I mean, you and I both post an instinctive knife throwing trick shot content, and people seem to like it. Okay, but yeah, that is kind of surprising. That I think I always think it's funny anytime people get in a group of, hey, we're in all this together. Oh, we're so big. Now let's go over here and hate these people. It's just like, that's as big as you can get, huh? And then just like, now I've got to like not like that stuff quite so much,
The really odd thing to me about the two knife throwing groups is the instinctive knife throwers group has been around for many, many years, and then the throwing knife life group, and they both have about the same amount now, 10,000 members. And it's weird about the engagement that you get now. Very, very few engagement. And then when someone new comes into the groups and they say, hey, I would like to get some new knives, what do you suggest? You see people that you never heard of. There's 30 comments in there. I'm like, I don't even know who you are, dude. Where's this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just think about the people. Yeah. Maybe think about the people that are the most. No. Yeah. No. I know exactly what. Yeah. I
just hope that I don't put off a vibe of I'm too good to comment on, because I try to comment and like on as many people's videos as I can, man, regardless if I know them or not, just because I'm trying to encourage people. Because, man, when I first got into katanas and swords and stuff, I joined one of the groups on Facebook called Completely Katana, both KK Katana, and dude, those people did not like me at all. I got no encouragement. No one was cool. There was a bunch of elitist bullshit, and I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's you're discouraging people and getting into the sport, and I'm not about that shit. I'm not about talking down to people. I'm trying to lift people up and encourage them to get better. And
yeah, I hit you up, years ago out of the blue. I just saw you on Instagram via algorithm and DM'd you, and yeah, it was pretty immediate with like advice on stuff to get, stuff to avoid. Let me know if I can help, and that's awesome. And also, we're just fucking throwing knives. We're not like writing policies for like international trade or anything. I mean, give me a break, dude. Like, get drunk and throw knives in the backyard. Like, yeah, I'll give you all the information you want.
I'm glad you said that, because it reminded me of something that I was talking to Mac about last night. Because Mac and I are really into it. He's really into it like I am. We're on the same page. We love this sport. We want to continue to see it grow, and get more people involved. But I understand outside looking in, like knife throwing in your backyard, that's stupid. That's silly. But I think the NBA is fucking retarded too. So
Well, I mean,
Everybody,
this is skateboarding and BMX and like all those things that have gotten big, but I don't think anybody like grabs their skateboard or BMX bike and like holds it up like it's some sort of, it's what they ride. Like they may really really like it, but it's not like a.
but it is a lifestyle.
Oh, I mean, I promise. I've got 20 skateboards in this closet right here, probably, and a trials bike, and
Yeah.
all kind of throwing knives. So yeah, I get it. But
They're
yeah, I don't like when people like make grandiose of something that really isn't. Like I'm the best stamp licker in the world. It's like I don't know, man. Cool. I mean, the knife throwing that I think it will grow as there are really fun personalities to interact with, like you, like James, like Mac, like man, Miss Lobo, but like all these guys that put out like cool content, and if you comment, they'll comment back, and people that are new are like, I like that, dude, like somebody, and then you get in somebody's algorithm and they like something that you did, and all of a sudden then it's like now I'm catching.
Do you still watch a lot of skate videos?
Yeah.
I still watch BMX videos every day.
Yeah.
And I comment on a lot of bigger BMX guys. Like Aaron Ross is a big guy that rode street for a long time, and his birthday was the other day. He rode for Odyssey. And I was like, dude, you're one of the best to ever do it. Happy birthday. And he like said thank you, and liked my comment and all that shit. And I was like, damn, that was fucking cool. So I'm just trying to, I don't know. I just, the people that are too cool for school, or it's just nice. I don't know. It's just
what's the grassroots component, right? Like it's still small enough to have that vibe, and it just needs to be able to maintain that, and if it can, and that's coming from like old, out of date, out of style person, right? Like I'm not a 25-year-old knife thrower or a 6-year-old apparent knife thrower now. I mean, I don't know what is in James and Tilly's body that makes 6-year-olds catch stuff with knives, but
I don't know. It's something amazing.
Pretty crazy, man. So, hey, something I'm sure these people probably somebody's already said Rudolpho, or somebody says that we're so boring. Yeah, I totally agree, man. Like,
that hurts my soul.
We're funnier than person. But Joel did a video about his grip change, and it was pretty much like a thumb thing going like from the bottom to the side or something. See, this is the macro mechanics that I think maybe some people don't realize. Like maybe knife throwing looks really simple to people, but man, it's like a golf swing. Like moving your thumb a little bit is changing.
And everybody's different. Everybody's different, man. So what works for Joel may not work for us. But I've seen Joel go through his different grips and styles over the past few years too. So he's just we call him the professor for a reason, because he's always learning, and that's what's important. He's always trying to better himself and get the most power or most efficiency or most accuracy. Actually, he told me accuracy, he doesn't even care anymore, which blows my mind, because he went to Russia. He literally went to Russia and whooped all their asses, got first place. And now he doesn't care about accuracy. I was like, come on, dude.
Well, in my opinion, I think that as good as he is, if he does the exact same thing every time, they're going to go in the same place. So, like, if his stance is the same, if his release comes from the same spot, if the whip was all the same, if everything leaves the same, it's going in the same place anyway. So his accuracy is it's not the target. It's him being a consistent gun for that projectile to leave from. Like, it's literally, if you point like a firearm at something, it's going in exactly in the same hole every time if the gun doesn't move and the ammo's good. If you have a suppressor, that would change. But like at any rate, we're getting in the weeds over nothing. If you threw a knife the exact same way, you could have your fucking eyes closed. But if you did everything the same, the stance was the same, every part of it was the exact same, it would have to go in the same place. That's how that shit works.
Okay, I got an excellent question then. Since you're a firearms instructor and you're an expert shooter, so okay, so we're using our fingers and our bodies, and there's so many more moving parts than there is in a firearm, right? Of course, if I do the same thing every time, it's going to go the same way if I hold it the same way. But there are different ways of getting a bullseye from throwing, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, I see Joel throw. He always takes a knife, he places it in his hand the same way every time. He looks at it and then he throws. In my mind, I like to just grab the knife. I don't even look at it. I try to adjust on the way up and then release.
Mm-hmm.
And that's much more important in adjusting on the fly.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think maybe it's just a different thing.
It's just an extra skill set, right? It's a separate skill set that just you put them together and then you're just better than separate. If you were really good at either one of those, you'd just be more badass if you were good at both of them. Probably.
Okay.
It'd be like half spin and no spin, underhand, half spin, roto, all of the stuff, right? Like nobody is equal good at all. Well, go back to Lester with his left and right hand, but if you don't practice it, you get good at what you practice, whether you like it or not, or you get good at what you practice of what you're trying to practice anyway. Like it just makes permanent movement, right? But at any rate, I don't want to discount the fact that if you took a knife and you threw it the exact same way and it left the same way, I can only imagine what I was getting at was his ability to not care about accuracy now is the fact that he is working on mechanics and he knows that shit's going that way and going to hit where he wants it to go. That just ain't a real big deal. Now he just wants to make sure that all of this is like some next level Professor Ninja knife throwing stuff, right? He's super fun to watch. He's one of very few people that I like to watch repeatedly just throw a knife into a target, which I mean, I really appreciate high skill throwers. It's just not something that I watch. It's like jujitsu. That I think it's amazing. I don't sit around and watch hours of it. It's just like, oh, cool. Highlight maybe. So, but yeah, he is somebody. When you watch him throw, it's like, wow, he's doing something. It's like
obviously
interesting. Yeah. And his content's always in a neat spot, like that huge parking lot with that one round out in the middle of nothing. It's like, do cars pass by out there and go, it's just Joel?
Yeah. Finland must be a much different place in the United States because that's looks like it's at a gravel pit or something.
So crazy.
Okay. I want to bounce back. I had a question for you a minute ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel? How would you feel about? I know you're not a competitive person. But how would you
feel? I'm not good, people.
How would you feel about knife throwing in the Olympics?
Oh, I think it could have its place. That guy from Turkey that was the shooter that just wore like his pajamas and loves his cat. Like I want to sponsor him immediately.
He's rad.
No,
he's party.
I think that the skill set and the interest to watch. I mean, I think it's pretty fun to watch personally. I think if it was if you had a good camera, good angles, good lighting, made it really look good, I think people could be captured by that. Like I've messed around and watched 30 or 40 minutes of bowling before. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes just like, the anticipation of the guy's voice and they get slow and low. You're like, what's about to happen at that bowling ball? And next thing you know, it's like it's heading that way like the last one was. But
damn, it's the exact same thing you did last time.
I thought there was a trick happening. But at any rate, I think it could go there. You would have to find sponsorship because it's all about money. But the cool thing is like, man, they're not very expensive even when they are expensive. It's not like kitchen cutlery expensive. Like, I mean, this is 80 CRV2 from Zach, and like, maybe they were $80 a piece or something. Like, come on, man. It's not even anything that he makes, So it's like, if you could figure out a way to get some sponsors, you need like Red Bull or some sort of soda that makes a whole bunch of money, or a beer or something, or like a lifestyle fabric company, because they ain't gonna be a knife company. Like, ain't no knife company making seven figures unless they're making knives. Like not throwing knives.
Unless you're talking about like Microtech or fucking
right. Yeah, Spyderco. Yeah.
So my thoughts on the Olympics is yes and no, because I come from the backyard. I think that it's like BMX and skateboarding, dude. It's the same thing. It's like it's so pure and it's so personal. But then again, you could make a profession out of it and live probably comfortably if it was at that level.
Yeah, but the bad thing is like your bikes, you have cranks, pedals, frame companies, handlebar companies, tire companies, tube companies, shoe companies,
Right.
skateboarding, bearings, wheels, trucks, boards, shoes, clothes. Knife throwing is kind of like, a $50 gift card to Hot Topic and like a pack of menthols. And you're just like, I'm an Olympian. It's like, no,
Well,
man, do better.
but we all wear shoes, pants, clothes, hat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
Hey,
you have a sponsor, right? Front,
yeah. I
dude.
have
Sick, man.
I don't really make any money from it just
Doesn't
yet.
well, I mean,
But
the association is the start, though, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm stoked. I'm beyond stoked. I'm so happy, and I'm working on some things. We'll see what happens in the future. I got my going to be going soon. I hope to have that up and going in the winter time. I'm working on some other stuff, but
seems to be a few of you guys working on some stuff right now. I'm pretty pumped about it. I think next year for the guys that are getting into throwing and going to start taking it serious, man, they're between now and this time next year. I think there's going to be some cool new stuff coming out that people can be a part of.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see people that are just as passionate as I am, such as Judah, Mac. I think that you would really be. I know you really want to be involved in the fast draw stuff too.
Yep.
But before I forget, real quick. So the Olympics, accuracy, yes, repetitive, over and over and over. But I saw Loic. Loic's a skater and a surfer and whatever. He said today on someone's page, style matters. Style does matter. So it's
skateboarding's in the Olympics.
So yeah, so they have a street course. So they do.
Breaking is in the Olympics this year. There's breakdancing. Breakdancing is in the Olympics this year.
Well, that's all style.
It's all breaking, style. Dude. Yeah, continue. But that's what I was adding is
So that's interesting. So you would have to. That's when you start to get style into things. That's when things really get nuanced.
And minimal sponsors too, right? Clothing, soda, beverage, energy drink, something. I mean, you don't do anything.
That's how it starts.
Sponsored by the floor. It's like, yeah.
Sponsored by the 80s.
Yeah.
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 Well,
injury attorney. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Sponsored by my youth.
I wish. Golly, man. Spencer's saying fast draw. Yeah, dude, fast draw in the Olympics. I mean, dude, that'd be every bit as cool as watching some archery or something like that.
That is the number one spectator sport that is going to happen. Yeah. I want to make I think that we can get it on ESPN. The WATL, the WKTL are on their way out. The bubble has burst. They're going to fucking gone. Their attendance is so low, and there's so many of those locations. I've got it on good authority that they're doing board games and shit.
Oh.
To get people, they're doing other things to get people into the venue. So the bubble has burst. There's so many of them, so many, and I've seen it over the past 10 years since I've been in the sport. And I'm like, damn, man, that's wild. And it's like a simplified version of what we do, and it's bummed me out. But I get it, But
yeah, we're kind of rowdy, so I mean, yeah.
At least we maintained our integrity.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be a dirtbag, I'm going to have integrity as one.
My morals.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm going to see you in just a few weeks. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, me too, man.
I think the fast draw. I think the lifeblood of the fast draw thing is going to be how well it is presented visually. I think that's going to be everything. Like you guys are going to have to get, in my opinion, like the right angles, and they need to be those angles most of the time because the dynamic is the same. It's not like you're having to film like people on a course or a field or anything. It'll be the back at a good angle, like the top over here. Like you need like 2 or 3 angles that everybody can watch from, and they just need to be like good camera quality. It needs to, because it is so minimal in content, it needs to be very absorbing content. You know what I mean? And there's nothing worse than like bad lighting, like my camera right now, or just anything that's just kind of like you can't stop looking at that as opposed to watching the quick draw, or fast draw. So I think getting in with like Marcus Method and getting with people that really know that side of things will probably help it like start and get off to a good start without being like, oh, it's pretty good, except I kept seeing that guy's butt the whole time. It's just like, man, just make sure the angles are good.
I don't think the whole camera thing is going to be a problem. I've already, I film stuff all the time. I kind of know what angles to get things at.
Yep.
And we're going to have excellent timers soon. We're going to be starting this new fast draw organization. I
hear about that.
I just hope that we haven't talked about it too much when some fucking rich asshole takes off with this. So.
Yeah. Well, if they have money in overseas stocks, they're probably worried about that right now. But yeah, hopefully that nobody really cares, and you guys will make something awesome. I'm really pumped for Judah. Like you said in that interview, I mean, he's lit on fire right now with some motivation.
I can tell. It's awesome. It's awesome to see us out of Judah. But dude, I think this might be our best podcast yet.
Yeah, right on. Cool.
Yeah, I
don't know if these people think so, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm about to piss my pants. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Probably 2 weekends or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. See you soon.